gender reveal gone wrong. Our poor boy Fitz here struggling, and the reveal didn't go the way that you really wanted, even though it wasn't intentional. I don't actually know the plan is for Sylphie slash Fitz to take here, what the proper approach is for facing Rudy here. Continue to act out as Fitz, come forward and be like, yeah, you were right, you got me. I don't know. It's just, it goes towards the courage that she was saying that she kind of lost and that she's a coward or whatever her reasonings were last week. Kind of, I think, get put into play a little bit more here again. And it's more on, she knew that she couldn't take that step. Something kind of slipped and came out before she realized it, or before she had the opportunity to state who exactly she was and whatever the end goal was in her mind. I have no idea if she ever planned to actually reveal any of this. And now she's in a state where she's probably not going to be good. So I am curious if she takes a lead here and attempts to talk to Rudy about it, if she just tries to hope that he doesn't ever bring attention or light to it again. Also on Rudy's end, where exactly he goes, does he just look towards this person as somebody that he deeply does care for, and he's going to take it a step at a time like that, or is he going to approach Fitz in this way that's kind of just looking to maybe cure his ED and get over his other issues, as he views her as the kind of path that he needs to take? The direction he wants to go, I'm a bit curious about. I think it's more so he would show actual care and take his time and not do anything too out there, say anything or actually perform any actions or anything unless he knew that Fitz was comfortable with it. So I actually think that he'll be a good sport in this situation. If you like it all though, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or series. Let's get going though with episode 11.
久しぶりに目覚めた相棒のことが気がかりであまり眠れなかった。俺の脳内はすでにフィッツ先輩のことでいっぱいだったが、
That's really consumed you.
しかしこれどうやって治療に入ればいいんだろうか。
This is what I was just saying. Do we look towards Fitz as the means to kind of get over this, or do we have other things in mind?
フィッツのことで話がある。
Ooh.
僕は何も知りません。
I don't know what you're talking about.
何を知らない。
先輩の正体も知らない。
And even though I think I do, we're gonna act like I don't.
知らないふりをしてくれると。
Yes.
なぜ？
That's what he means.
僕はボレアスとも。
先輩の邪魔にならないようにと決めたけど、やはり少し辛い。
I need some help. Some things happen. Oh, she called us.
先日買い物に出ている時にルーデウス
About this, okay.
フィッツの行動を怪しんでいます。自分は男だと大声で宣言した。
That did
と
happen.
いう噂も耳に入ってきました。さすがに確信したでしょうね。体まで触ら。あなたはどうするのですか？ルーデウスを配下する件についてはゆっくりでもいいと思っています。ですが、半年もの間何も進展がないとなると、私としても一言ぐらいは言いたくなりますよ。
Yeah, it almost feels like you don't have a plan and you're just kind of taking it day by day and not really trying.
ところを見るのは飽きてきました。ですから、そろそろ勇気を出して彼に正体を明かしたらどうですか？シルフィ、友達だから助けようって思った。
What do you think's happening in this situation?
あなたのことですから私に遠慮しているのでしょ？でも、あなたは私の配下ではなく、
And I want to see you succeed.
したいことができたのなら、私の元から離れ。
Love that.
それは裏切りだよ。
No, we're friends, not master and
勇気を
servant.
出して言ってごらんなさい。今あなたは何をしたいのか。ルディと添い遂げたい。
Okay. To be honest, though, we knew that, but big steps on you for for saying that.
ルディが僕のことを思い出してくれなかったら、きっと立ち直れないと思う。
He remembers you.
それは今から考えましょう。表面からブエナ村で一緒に育ったシルフィエットですというのがいいのではないでしょうか。
無理ですね。
But it does seem a bit abrupt, you know?
完全に忘れているでしょう。
No, it's very different.
ではありませんか？
That memory when he found out exactly who I was. He fucking took my clothing off. Are we gonna dye her hair? That'd be crazy. Do they remember or know that her hair is different color? Yeah. Wow, it's almost like, what happened here? This is the exact route I thought we were gonna go. I thought this is how he's gonna find out, but I thought it was gonna be a little different than this. So if they go that way, why does that make you so happy? It's not. In the slightest, no. Alright, Operation Reveal has begun. You're positive you want to do this. What did you mean by that? Specifics, buddy. Okay. Let's say, What? What? Let's say like that. Okay, well, she's pretty certain. What are you? No backing out, buddy. You know, usually I don't like when people threaten you to do stuff, but I think it works great here. There's a few routes we can go, and I said both of them. I'd argue it's going to be a mixture of the two stories that she said, but I don't know. I think I'd be pleasantly surprised if they did something different entirely. Come with me real quick.
ここじゃちょっと場所を変えよう。リって頼みがあるんだ。わかりました。赤龍に乗ったつもりで任せてください。ちょっと待ってよ。まだ内容を言ってないよ。
So quick to agreement.
先輩の頼みなら空飛ぶ城だって落としてみせます。
Yeah, his love's pretty strong.
うちの用心棒は4人パーティーで氷の森の奥まで行ってそこにしか生えてない花を取ってきたって言ったんだけど。
Okay.
氷の森の奥地に生える花というと。
So we gotta go with two of us and prove that we're better.
もっと少ない人数で取ってこれる。
So we're going with two. So we're going with two. We're gonna be in a secluded place, far away. I'm asking you to come, buddy. Just say what? Just say it. Just say it. He clearly can't pick up on it.
そんな人たちいなくても僕とルーデウス君がいれば余裕でしょ。わかりました。その依頼慎んで受けさせていただきます。
Was he not aware? Like, I'm just wondering. Was he trying to get out of this? Or did he, like, actually that just not cross his mind at all?
僕は高いですよ。高いって。そりゃそうかもしれない。
I'm prepared to do some stuff. I don't got any money though.
ルディをお金で買う。
Not gonna happen.
とにかく先を急ごう。
What a reaction. Jesus. Well, that's one way to do it. Holy. I need what he has.
どうですか？太さの方は。太いね。両手で持つことを想定してたの。
Why? Why? Why?
僕が成長した後のことを想定していたのでしょう。
Got the ring. Okay.
赤の塔。
What does it do?
大丈夫かな。
We're creating a storm so we can get the water. Okay, it's working. Can't he do magic to clear the sky too, though? Don't worry, I got this. Yeah. I actually think I would prefer if he spoils like all the attempts here. Well, it's not working.
ルディに本気を出させないために杖を借りたけど、逆に僕の役に立ってよかった。
Oh, that's why we took. I didn't even pick up on that. Perfect. It's all going according to plan.
俺を雇ったフィッツ先輩の様子はおかしかった。異変もあった。
So you're starting, okay,
の動きが速すぎた。
cluing in on some stuff.
誰かが魔術を使っていた可能性がある。フィッツ先輩はこれに気づいているのだろうか。
Oh, okay. So he's not really cluing in on.
となれば気づいているな。
Yeah, different reasons,
それぐら
but
いの
I
妨
get
害
it.
は想定内ということだろうか。
Determination. Can you do it, Fitz? What's your play, brother?
何かな。
昔知り合いの少女からエルフは別の種族に肌を見られることを禁忌とするという話を聞き及びますので、その間に魔術を使って服を乾かしてください。
She's gonna be like, I'm done, and then just nothing on when he turns around. Oh no.
先輩、
I'm choking up.
ましょうか。
No, I want you to do it, brother.
俺が洞窟から出
Like
ていく。
before.
そうしましょう。それがいい。
待ってよ。
You got this. Be strong. Show the courage.
がないと危ないですよ。
I guess we gotta take him off.
体温が下がると人は死ぬんですから。
That's true.
死んじゃうね。このままだと
As you shake.
自分じゃ脱げないんだ。脱がせてよ。
Straightforward. Lovely. Are you sure about that?
自分で脱げないなら僕が脱がせるしかありません。
You leave me no choice. But he's trying to be careful.
実はですね、僕はフィッツ先輩が女だと知ってるんですよ。
死んじゃうかもしれないね。
Read the signs, brother. Read the signs. You missed them all with Sarah. Oh. Take the shades off, too.
どこかで見たことはなかったか。
Up and close in a very similar situation.
昔こんなことがあった。
There you
5
go.
歳か6歳の頃だったか。確かにあった。
That makes it hit harder when she'll hopefully say it here. Wow.
だ、一つ残ってるよ。
The glasses. There's multiple, to be fair. Does it hit you at once? Or do you not pick up on it?
フィッツ
No.
先輩、
何？ルディ。
もしかして
うん。
フィッツ先輩の本名はシルフィエットというのではないでしょうか。
So she makes him remember. Cool.
僕はシルフィエット。上野村のシルフィエットです。やっと言えた。
あの時と似ていた。彼女は相か。
Some things never change.
昔からずっと
Wow, okay.
ルディが好きでした。今はもっと好きです。もう
Mm.
離れないでください。ずっと一緒にいたいです。
Well, I guess I was like half right with my prediction, kind of. The prediction I made, I think it was literally the first or second episode of this arc. So what was that? Would that be episode 5 or 6? So all the way back then was based on the idea that Rudy would... It's a little off, don't get me wrong, but it was based on the idea that Rudy wouldn't have an idea or wouldn't be confirmed or sure that Fitz was a girl yet. He would still be under the impression that it was a guy. He would be willing to go this far and to this extent, and accept the fact that maybe, you know, Buddy swings this way and he's just kind of interested in the person that he's interested into and he can't help it. I thought we were going to go something along the lines of that. And in that moment, when they got into a more intimate moment or something similar to how it exactly happened here, we would get the undress scene, and then it would be very similar set up to a way in which he was like caught off guard, and then he would be like, oh shit, this has happened before, and then he would relate it back. So I'm off because it didn't exactly happen that way. While he had understanding already here that Sylphie or Fitz was a girl, he still brought himself into the situation, and then it all kind of came together pretty well, or pretty much, I guess, as expected, and I guess as you would probably believe it to, and it just followed the order pretty well, on the idea that once we kind of got into this moment, once we get to see her, the reveal and like her actual face and her eyes and everything, and he notices all the parallels and the similarities of these things, and moments that have happened before with this girl and somebody else that he knows and all this other thing, he can't help but notice, right? He can't help but bring up the idea that you possibly could be this person that I know from before, because everything just kind of aligns and makes a little bit too much sense, which I think is a pleasant and pretty much perfect way for them to approach this and actually do it. And no complaints really to that. I've had my issues or my feelings towards, I guess, the idea that this relationship and the Sylphie refusing to reveal while Rudy's being kind of oblivious to the things that's around him and not picking up on any clues or anything like that. I've had my problems with that, sure, and I've had my big issues with the fact that Sylphie's lacking of courage here and unwillingness to kind of confront Rudy about this and claim who she actually is, because it causes, as what did I say in this, like 6 months of unneededness, I guess, and a waste of their time, when this is something that could be resolved instantly. And it's very, very simple if we come out and we decide to reveal it. So of course you would have issues with something like that. But I think, like, as we're progressing more, and especially as it was presented a little bit more in the last episode and now this one as well, I think the idea of us kind of earning this relationship a little bit more, in starting back over from the beginning in a way, and allowing these people to kind of fall for each other and actually fall for each other without at least on one side knowing who the other person is or believing in anything like that. And Sylphie basically falls for Rudy for all the same exact reasons that she did before. So it kind of is on both ends here. And I think the slower pace and her being so put off about that is really excellent, I guess, for the way that it ends up resolving itself up to this point. And it does a good enough job of also allowing us to see somebody who struggles so much to have confidence in themselves and actually come out and have this courage to state these things that they want and put themselves in these situations, such as Sylphie is here. And it allows us to see growth as her and as a person and the character, and that's pretty cool for them to actually do it that way. So I definitely think that I'm growing to appreciate that aspect of it a little bit more. Regarding most of the episode outside of that, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's been pretty straightforward for a minute now. That's going forward, and what these things kind of mean and how we're going to approach this. I gotta say, I do really appreciate Ariel and her approach to this, and being that person who has some common sense and understands this has been going on a little bit too long. Let's get the ball rolling here, and kind of pushing her in that direction to force it a little bit more, which I like. And I like the way that she approached it, of being like, listen, we're friends, we're not master servant type situation, you're not just my protector, like, we are friends. I am going to allow you to be released and do these things and have these desires and want to be with other people if you want. I am not forcing you and trapping you here, right? We are friends and I want what's best for you, and I'm willing to kind of set you free, and I want to see you achieve a higher purpose and find a sense of belonging when it comes to another person, and also just with other people and yourself. It's pretty great. I have zero complaints about her so far. She made me feel a little weird with the episode 0 episode, and especially some of the stuff that was cut. Yeah, there's some problems with her as a person, sure. But she's a pretty cool person so far, from everything that they've displayed, at least in the anime. So I have no complaints about her, and I'm very glad that we have somebody like that who was able to push us further and do that, and also put Sylphie in that situation of being like, listen, you have to do it here. Like, this is your only opportunity that I'm giving you. And I don't remember exactly what she said something that she wasn't gonna like let her do something if she tried to back out. I don't remember what she said, but it was great at the time, I remember. So I appreciate her for putting herself in that situation, or confronting Sylvie about that. Also, Luke, hats off to him as well for his help within this. He wasn't as big as a help, I would say, as the others, or as Ariel ended up being, but I appreciate him being involved in some sort of way here for it. I think the last like big thing I want to talk about before I skim back through the episode is the idea that Rudy was a lot more considerate in this situation with Sylvie when it comes to somebody who he actually wants to have a proper relationship and care for this person. He definitely seems to take a different approach with the way that he's kind of handling these things. And it's interesting too, because he similarly was in a situation like that with Eris. Well, he's an entire different person now for multiple reasons. It's nice to see the growth we get going forward with him, and how he's kind of approached this entire situation, where he doesn't want to screw things up and he's being very considerate of this other person and very, very respectful in every situation. And I think it's just pretty cool. I don't think there's too much for me to really go into about that, but I think it's pretty cool just to note the type of approach that he took to this relationship, where he definitely could have used her as a means to kind of just cure his issues after he came to this realization by the end of the last time, but also realizing that he does have so much care for this person, and if he kind of rushes things, or if he puts himself in one of those situations and he forces things, things could end up bad, and he, I think, would much rather have this genuine relationship and care for this person that he finds love in, rather than only use them as a way to kind of solve his problems. Speaking of him just kind of being considerate about the moment and stuff, just his conversation with Luke to start things off here about how he's just willing to overlook everything, and we're gonna leave it at that. And if you say that she's a guy and she says that and everyone else wants to say that, as far as I know nothing. You know, that's it. It's the extent of my knowledge is you're Fitz, you protect Ariel, and you're a dude, and that's all I know. And I think that's cool. Just the approach that he takes with that. Also, the idea that he's willing to not confront this person. And I mean, of course, he's not going to put her on blast or anything, but the idea that he's not trying to confront her or change her in any sort of way, or make her more aware that he's aware of who she is in a way. The Ariel conversation, in which I talked about for the most part here already, but I definitely like the idea of her just kind of being the support system here, and us turning essentially what we had in episode 0 in a way of how we're going to be there for our person and protect them in a way, instead of us having this weird dynamic in our relationship. It's literally just because we're friends and we want to listen to this other person and help this other person around us. So I think it ends up being pretty cool. The idea of telling everything so Ariel can help us figure out the story is pretty good. The weird like moments where she starts blushing and thinking like back on these fond memories that she has about Rudy, but they're all like kind of creepy and weird, and everybody else is like, ugh. She's like blushing. It's really, really funny, and having these very awkward moments with herself, which is fantastic. Though we initiate the plan, I still don't know in this moment if Rudy like literally was aware that she was trying to do this one-on-one thing, but he didn't know how to handle it or what to do, so he was trying everything that he could to kind of get out of it, or if he actually was just being completely oblivious to what she was getting at, and he never picked up on the idea that maybe they should go together. It makes me think it's that second one, just for the idea that he also like was so quick to be like, oh yeah, that's actually a great idea, as if he never really even thought about it. I love him using this just to clear out the snow. I think that's so funny, and I would love to have that sort of ability. I love her also like in conflict with him while he tries to clear the skies, and she tries to just make it rain more so that her plan can come into action. And also the idea that she took the staff and everything so this can happen, and he can't put a stop to the situation is great. We end up in our final destination in our cave, and this is where we have very interesting moments. I like the idea that we're led to him revealing it. So she doesn't necessarily reveal, well, she reveals it because she like says yes or no, or adds context to it. The idea that he's the one who comes to the conclusion that you're this person, and based on all the things that she's kind of led, just so she knows for a fact that she wasn't forgotten, instead of just coming out and forcing the fact that she's somebody that he's known for so long. So I think that's a really cool route to do it. And also the idea that she one-ups it later by her declaration of love here, basically, I think is a fantastic way for us to see a character who is still lacking of the courage because she was refusing, or not refusing, but unable to come out and properly say the thing that she's been trying to say for so long, and then she's able to, when she has that weight off her shoulder in a way, it's clear as day for her what she needs to do next and what her next action should be and what she should say to him. And I think that's pretty dope, the way that they kind of approached it. And then yeah, just the big reveal, everything goes really well, a great moment together, and we share that sentiment, and I'm very excited for the most part to see, I guess, how they plan to conclude and wrap things up here. I am interested. We know what will happen next in the cave, you know, like it's bound to happen. We know where that's gonna go. I do wonder if we're going to visually see that, or if we're going to skip over it, or like how they plan to approach that. And also the idea of what possibly can come as a result of us sleeping with Sylphie here, because everything can't be all good and well, right? You have to end things with a little bit of something, or a little bit of, I don't know. I'd argue maybe that's not even true. Maybe we don't need to do anything bad, but I definitely think that the idea that we can use something like sex to kind of either teach us a lesson, or flip things a little bit and give us another obstacle in our way, or give us something that can kind of teach us a lesson, almost, is an interesting thing, because they've done that every single time by taking something from Rudy every single time. So I am curious what would be taken here, if maybe nothing, because he's fully reached a point where that's not needed, because he's built like a genuine like connection with somebody prior to doing this, and he's kind of gotten over possible like past bad habits and ways and stuff. So maybe now he's like in the clear and things will go well, but we can still use it as a way to kind of develop him and teach him lessons in certain ways if we try to. So I am wondering if they would go about a route of possibly doing that again here. My original prediction, I think when I talked about when this whole issue happened with Sarah before, was that this is going to be a constant cycle every time he tries to sleep with somebody, where something negative is really going to kind of come out of it, until we end up getting with Roxy. And then that is my idea of, we are going to allow him to be kind of free by the time he reaches her, because it only makes sense that she's the last one out of the main three that he's going to be able to sleep with. So it makes perfect sense if everything gets kind of solved by the time we're there. Like that's the first time he can have an experience without like a consequence as the result of it. And I think that that would be a good idea. It's just where we take it, like what lesson is there to almost teach us, or what consequences there for us to almost have in this moment with Sylphie, because he didn't lead into it with anything bad, like no bad intentions, nothing like wrong there. But I don't know also what there is for us to kind of, what journey there is for us to lead him on as a result of that, and what there is to take from him possibly. I am interested. I'm trying to think about it as I'm speaking here, but I can't really wrap my head around what I think it can bear. That's going to be all for me, though. Very excited, I guess, just to see where we get into the next one. If you liked it all, though, hit the like and subscribe to me. To me, feel free to check out the other videos on the channel. Leave any comments with this episode series. See you all for the finale of this core next week. You guys have a good one, though. Peace.